Hey guys, Mark 4 coming to you live from my man cave, and I'm wearing a cowboy hat. Why? Because I found a cowboy hat and I can wear it. So that's why I'm wearing a cowboy hat. Hey, before we get into my thought for today, I got a joke for you. Okay, it goes like this. What do you get when you cross an insomniac, a dyslexic, and an agnostic? Don't know? You get somebody who lies awake all night wondering if there is a dog. My wife thought it was stupid, but I wanted to share something funny just because that's who I am. Anyway, my thought for today, I'm actually stealing from our pastor who shared this in his video, and it blew my mind when I was recording him, our associate pastor, because I've always read about Peter walking on the water, Jesus walked on the water out of Matthew. Well, he took it from Mark, and it sort of puts a different spin on it, and it really blows my mind, and I think it's really appropriate for today. So I'm going to read to you from Mark. And this is after, for those of you who don't know, this all happened after he fed the 5,000 with the fish and bread. Okay, so we're picking the story up then. If I can find the right spot. Okay. Immediately after this, Jesus insisted that his disciples get back into their boat and head across the lake to Bethsaida. While he sent the people home after telling everyone goodbye, he went up into the hills by himself to pray, practicing social distancing. That's what Jesus was doing right there. Late that night, the disciples were in their boat in the middle of the lake, and Jesus was alone on the land. He saw that they were in serious trouble, rowing hard and struggling against the wind and the waves. So there's a big storm, and they're fighting the storm. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them walking on the water. And here's the part that blew my mind, so pay attention. He intended to go past them. Okay? He was walking on the water, but in Mark here, it says he intended to go past them. But when they saw him walking on the water, they cried out in terror. At first, they thought he was a ghost. They were all terrified. But when they saw him, then Jesus spoke and said, "Don't be afraid." He said, "Take courage, I am here." Then he climbed into the boat. The wind stopped, and they were totally amazed. So the part that just blew my mind when Leroy shared this was, he intended to walk past them? Like, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, he sent them out on the lake in this boat, and he, being Jesus, God's son, knew there was a storm coming, right? But he sends them out in the lake, and then he intended to walk past them until what? They had to cry out to him. And then he got in the boat and saved them. Of course, after Peter walked on water and all that goes along with the story in Matthew. But I just thought it was so cool that he knew, he had to have known the storm was coming. He knew he was sending them into the storm. And he intended to walk past them, but he didn't because they called out to him. Okay, so that's the first scripture we're looking at. Next one, this is another one that has to deal with Jesus and boats. So as evening came, this is still in Mark 2. I'm messing up this video, but I'm not stopping. We're going with it. In Mark, this is another time when Jesus has the disciples in a boat. And it says in Mark 4, verse 35, as evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of this lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind them. Again, social distancing. And where did I let off? But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Well, here we go. Verse 38. Jesus, in the middle of the storm, in a boat, in the middle of a lake, waves crashing over the boat, boat's filling up with water. Where's Jesus? He was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. Jesus, once again, had to know he was sending them into a storm. What's he do? He falls asleep in the boat until the disciples woke him, shouting, "Teacher, Don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" Oh, that's good stuff. Like 2 times, God sends his disciples into a storm. The first time, he intended to walk by them until they called out to him. The second time, he sends them into a storm, falls asleep in the boat. They're all freaking out. They wake him up with these, "What, you guys don't have any faith? I'm Jesus. I'm in your boat with you. Do you really think that I'm not going to help you? Come on." It's like the same thing that we're going through today with this whole coronavirus and people losing their jobs and stressed out. Like, I'm stressed out for my daughter. She's pregnant due in May, and her husband is a nurse. So he's working with sick people all the time. But I'm not going to let that stress get to me because, our other video we did was on Psalm 91. And we got to trust God. And it's like when we're in these storms, when our boat is filling up with water, we have to call out to Jesus because he's the only one who can save us. And he knows we're in the storm. He might not have made the storm, but he knows we're in it. And he's never going to fail us. He's never going to let us down. He's never going to abandon us if we call out to him. So that's my challenge for you today, in my cowboy hat, in my man cave. If you're stressing out, call out to God. He will meet you in the middle of the storm. Whether it's in your boat, walking on the water, he's going to come to you. He's going to rescue you, and he'll keep you safe. Have a great night. See you guys later.